Hey guys, how are you? Welcome back to my channel. It's me, Steven. A few hours ago, I got a phone call from the veterinarian's office that Claire's ashes were available. They had told me that it would be 10 to 14 business days. It ended up being 3 or 4. This is a short video of me going to get them, my reaction of after getting them, which I will apologize in advance or warn you in advance. I get very upset. And then the last few minutes of the video is when I've come home and I'm definitely more peaceful and definitely I've recovered from tonight as well as possible. Another warning, I am going to show you what Claire's ashes look like. So if you're easily triggered, you might skip this. Although it's not as there's nothing grotesque about it. If anything, it's very simple and peaceful and honestly as good as it could be. So just a heads up, that's what this video is. If that's not, you're not up to it or you're easily emotionally triggered, skip this video, okay? So I'll talk to you later, okay? Bye. Okay, here's the vet's office. They called about an hour ago to tell me that Claire's ashes are here and ready to be picked up. So I'm here to get her. Won't be a shock to you that I'm going to have a good little cry before I go, and then I don't know. That didn't go well. That didn't go well. The vet is very busy. So, they're very busy. The waiting room is full of dogs, mostly dogs. So, they're busy. They're just doing their job. So they probably can't be like, oh, this guy looks fragile. Meanwhile, I'm standing there crying, saying, hi, I'm here to pick up my cat's ashes. And she doesn't look up at me. She doesn't even look up at me from a computer. She's looking at her desk. She's like, oh, what's the phone number we can use to pull you up? And I'm like, and I give her my phone number. She's like, oh, is this Claire? And I'm like, uh-huh. She goes, all right, it'll just be a few minutes. And she looks up at me, and there's nothing, no humanity. Now she has to have some human, because you can't work in that environment and not be a good person. Honestly, I really can't think you can work in a vet's office and not be a good person. But there was no humanity. There was no, like, maybe she's hungry. Maybe she hasn't had a break. I don't know. I'm trying to give her some slack because I just fell apart in there. I just sat there quietly. I didn't like thrash. But I was definitely sitting in the corner trying to be invisible and sobbing at the same time. And something, this woman, I look up and this other woman's like waving me over, and I'm like, and she's pointing at the bag. She just points at the bag. She goes, here she is. Here she is. And then she's pointing at this bag, and I'm like, and I'm just quietly crying, and I'm like, thank you. And I walked away, and I'm come out to my car, and I'm sitting here, and I'm sorry. I'm like, I'm emoting. I feel like I'm like a pulsar shooting out waves of like grief and right now anger. I'm thinking of the movie Steel Magnolias, where Sally Fields is raging, I'm not okay, and she's screaming, and she's, running around after Shelby's funeral, yelling, like, what could Shelby have done? This wasn't fair. It's not fair. It's not fair. And I want to just run around this busy parking lot screaming. You don't understand. So I'm losing it a little bit. So I'm just gonna sit here for a few minutes. I'm gonna turn on like NPR or something. Maybe not NPR, it's too depressing. I'll just listen to some Joni Mitchell or something. That'll calm me down. Sit here for a little while, listen to some music, calm down, and drive home. And hopefully I'll be in a better state. I'm sure I will be. I'll just calm down once I'm home because I'll have the cats there. And I'll show you the little tin box that Claire's in. It's such a small little box and holding such a big soul. You know, it's... Oh... They put this little card about the Rainbow Bridge in the bag. I'm not sure I believe in a Rainbow Bridge, but I really hope there's one. All right. I'm getting myself worked up. Yeah. I'm going to listen to some music, and I'll see you guys later. Hey guys, hi. So I'm home. I'm feeling much better. I was trying to think of a word to describe what I feel like this experience was tonight, and I think cathartic, I think, would be the one word I would use. It was puncturing this whole experience tonight, especially, and as bad as it was at the office tonight, at the vet's office, it truly was cathartic. It punctured this veil of sorrow and pain that I've been walking around in. So, anger for me sometimes is a very safe place and a useful tool. And tonight I was just so angry at them. I don't know what their lives were like tonight. They were very busy. So, it was what it was. But it got me very angry and very sad. And in the end, it was like a fever breaking. You're just sick, and that fever finally breaks and you can breathe a little bit. And I'm sure that tonight and tomorrow and for the weeks and years to come, I'll still be very sad, and I'm sure I'm going to cry a number of times, I'm sure, because I'm just that person. But tonight felt cathartic. It felt like it punctured this sorrow, and I'm grateful for that. So I spent probably, I don't know, I listened to almost the entire album, the Blue album by Joni Mitchell, singing along a little bit and listening and crying to some of it. But I listened to pretty much the whole album sitting there in the veterinarian's parking lot. And it took me a little bit. I'm surprised it really took me this long to get to a place of gratitude. It's a struggle to get there for me tonight, especially with the loss of Clare. But I did try to practice gratitude tonight in terms of being grateful that I had such a beautiful partner. She felt like really a part of my family. And she taught me so much. I'm not sure if you've listened to me say this before, but Claire taught me a lot. She taught me a lot. Claire was a very nervous cat. She was very skittish. She was a very scared cat. She was easily frightened by loud noises, sudden movements. She would startle very, very easily. Even when she was eating her treats, if she was eating her treats and licking them, if there's a noise, she would, kind of freak out a little bit. She hated being picked up. I think she just didn't like the sense of powerlessness. And then, of course, holding her, she probably couldn't breathe very well. But she taught me to love her on her terms. Doesn't that sound like a very mature thing to learn from a cat? Now, the hope is one day I can apply that lesson to dating a relationship with a mammal larger than 10 pounds, like a guy. But Claire taught me to love with someone's consent, you know, to love within her boundaries. And that's a beautiful lesson. It's a beautiful thing, you know. And then she would let me love her because she loved it. But there were times that she was afraid, and she taught me to let her be afraid and let her freak out, let her take her time, and approach her when she was available. And that's just a lesson that I've never learned from a person, you know, and maybe that's why I'm single. But tonight was a good thing. It was a good thing, and I value the experience. So now that I can speak about her, Claire, and her ashes, and I'm going to show you her ashes. So I'm just going to warn you now. They're not gruesome. They really are as sterile looking and simple and clean as I could potentially have hoped. And, you know, in my mind, of course, I'm thinking Claire is so pure and sweet in her heart. She was such a gentle, angelic little soul that, of course, her ashes are simple and clean and pure looking. You know, so that's where I think. I want to look into. Actually, I'll probably call him tomorrow if he'll answer my call. My ex, and see if he can make me. If he'd be willing to make me, I'll commission it, a little urn or a little jar or a little box of some kind. He's a very successful potter. He's taught many people the art of pottery, and especially crystalline glazes. So my hope is he can make something for me. It doesn't have to be big, because Claire, her ashes are simple and small and just enough to hold. So this is the little box that she's in right now. It's clearly not a large box. You can see by my hand. And inside the box was this piece of paper. Her name is Clare Pereira. That's very nice. Kind of makes me choke up. She's a snowshoe as a breed. Her color beige and white, and she was 9.68 pounds. And that puts her exactly between Eleanor's weight and Buddy's weight. Somehow I like knowing how much she weighed. I'm not sure why that brings me solace, but so this is Claire now, and you know something has changed in me when I can open this up and look and touch this piece of what was my cat Claire, right? So something has changed in me over the past 4 hours. But she's in this little bag, and again, it's not gruesome. I don't want to like gross anybody out, so feel free to skip over this part. But this is Claire. See, she's kind of this, and it's like a silvery white. I'm not sure what it looks like in camera, but it's a silvery white, and it's very smooth and uniform and powdery. It almost looks like dust to dust, you know. So it's very simple, and she's really just a handful now, just a handful. You know, I'm thinking the human heart's supposed to be about the size of a fist, and this is almost the size of a fist. This is almost the size of my heart, and that's fitting, right? So that's Claire now. There's one little black speck in there. I don't know what that is. But I'm going to put this somewhere safe for now until I can have something that I really like and think is valuable enough for her presence. I have something else. I'm not sure if I told you. I found one of her whiskers. She used to like to sit and nap on one of my suitcases, my backup suitcase, and on that suitcase I found one of her whiskers, because that was no other cat. The only person with white whiskers would be Eleanor, besides Claire, and it was not one of Eleanor's whiskers. Eleanor's got real long, hardy whiskers. Claire's were very delicate and very fine, but I found one of her whiskers. So I value that. And I have her hairbrush, which is just thick. If you're a cat person, I mean, do you take your time to clean out your cat brush, you know, because somehow it's very satisfying to take that, you know, big piece of cat hair off the brush. Well, I mean, I had been saving up her hair, you know, not for this circumstance, but just because I found it satisfying to take it off the brush when it was all coming off of one piece, you know. And if you're not a cat person or a dog person, I'm sure dog people are like this. So I have that brush and it's full of Claire's hair, and I'm going to keep that. So I have her whisker, I have some of her hair. I didn't want her paw print for some reason. I just didn't want her paw print. I have her paw in my mind. I've held her paw enough. If you remember when you first met Claire, when I first met her, I kind of isolated her in my walk-in closet, and for 2 nights I slept on the floor with her, holding her paw, and because her eyes were still infected, and I didn't want her next to my cat, so I slept in the walk-in closet with her for 2 nights, holding her paw. I remember her paw. I don't want a print of it, you know. I remember it in my hand. I have her whisker, and I have her hair, and I have her ashes. So it's good. It's good. I feel a little bit more peaceful. I am going to lose it still occasionally, but I'm probably not going to fail him every time. So you're almost released from my melancholy and my sorrow. Aren't you happy? But yeah, so I just feel better, and I think I said this in my video about Claire when taking her. I'll feel better, or did I say that today? I don't know. I would feel better once I had her with me, once I had her home. I'm getting a little emotional. Once I had her home, I'd feel better, and I do. I do feel a lot better having her with me. So there we go. I'm not sure if I'm even going to post this video, but if I do, if you're still watching, I'll do a separate thank you later, maybe a separate community post, but I want to thank every single one of you that wrote a comment. There's hundreds of you that sent emails. Many of I have not been able to respond to because I would just get too emotional. Messenger, I've responded to some of those. Thank every single one of you because you really, really made a difference. You really made a difference. I didn't get a chance to look yet at who did this, but 2 people sent some financial contributions. So it was $150 total to put towards Claire's expenses. Thank you. I suspect I know who these 2 people are, but I'll have to look and say thank you later. But that's it. So I just want to say thank you. You guys have really made a difference in this experience, and I'm blessed for each and every one of you. So thank you. And I hope this video wasn't too emotional or too raw or too unpleasant or whatever, but you get me, right? All right, so I'll talk to you later. Okay, bye. Fly safe.